we like mutually slid into each other's DMs. Like so freaking funny to think about. To clarify, NCI would be Nutritional Coaching Institute. So basically, that was a company started by Jason Phillips, who, the whole goal is it is a program to help coaches learn A, the information they need to know, but B, how people can basically get into coaching, make a living out of it and stuff like that. And so it was like so funny because again, it's just like we like long distance vibe through the room because it was like same thing. Like I remember it was just like Alex and I kind of like chatted, a couple times over the weekend and just like, dude, like whatever sauce he's putting down, like I'm picking it up, like let's go. So it's like Alex had, messaged me on Instagram and same thing. Like ironically, I was like in the act of reaching out to him and just like, hey, like I don't know what we're doing, but like we should hang. Like you seem like good company, and so it's so funny to think about, right? Because it's like you ended up moving to Austin in was that 2018?
19, 2019.
Okay, so 2019. So you went off to Thailand.
Yeah.
you were doing crazy stuff, and then you moved. But it was like we just like instantly became attached at the hip. And it was like, obviously when you see a female and a male spending all this time together, it's like the people would be like, yo, like, so y'all a thing? Like you like, you doing stuff? And be like, no, actually. So I also like can't wait for the Q&A. If we do some Q&A podcasts, people will be like, yo, so for real, you ever hooked up? And be like, no, but like nobody ever believed us. But also mutually, it's like, we would spend like every day together. We, during quarantine, playing Xbox, playing Diablo 3, playing all the goodness, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like Alex and I basically started. I was his coach, and I remember you weighed 185 pounds, and I remember you sent over your check-in picture, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this kid's six-pack. Like you were still so shredded and so awesome looking, just so strong, so awesome looking at 185 pounds.
Yeah, I competitive weightlifted for like almost at that time, like 6 years or so. So yeah.
Totally. But mutually, you weren't eating shit for food.
No, I was definitely not. And that was always a big struggle. That was always honestly a big struggle with for me. It was the nutrition aspect, and that's why that originally was like got me into coaching people, and then obviously like working with you and being mentored and things like that. Like really understanding like, hey, like we need to definitely fuel ourselves properly, right? And that's one of the big things, like for me, like working with people. Like I work now as a coach, and I have my own coaching business, and actually have two assistant coaches. One of them is Christina, and another is Aaron, who is the admin for Paragon Training Methods in our Facebook group. So like my main thing is, I'm not like I'm not like a meathead fitness person. Like I didn't study it in college. I didn't go to school for it. Of course, like I've learned over the years and did certifications and studied and things like that on my own. But like a lot of stuff I feel like in the fitness industry is just for people, for the normal person, for the average person is just so, it's complicated. And then also you'll hear like 20 different thousand things. And, that was the main thing for me, is like helping people just really kind of like navigate and make stuff like simpler and more basic. And because that stuff works, right? Like, and that's really what I really try to do and help people find that kind of sustainable lifestyle. Cause I think like the big thing about health, at least for me, like fitness and health, like helped me realize that like, yeah, this is a life that like I can enjoy and be healthy and be strong. And then like, I love it. Like I wake up every day. Like I love doing what I'm doing. I feel good. Like that's what I want for people. Right. And so that's what really got me into coaching and, now doing what I'm doing. So, now I'll cut it short, but like now we're on podcasts, and like I was doing a podcast like a few years ago. Now we're doing a podcast, and we met through the same kind of podcast circle, and all that kind of stuff. So it's crazy.
Well, and also like how funny is it? Because it was like you went to the Fitness Business Summit in 2017, 2018?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, somewhere around that
Yeah,
time.
it was like I want to say like March of
I think
2018.
it was early 2018 because it was right after I started my coaching business.
Yeah. And so it's like you were headed there. And I remember it was like when we were first still just kind of like shooting the shit. And it was like, hey, so like I'm head to the Fitness Business Summit in San Diego, like you. And so like, how funny is it that here next month, I'll be moving to San Diego,
I know.
Now located in California as we start this podcast is really freaking funny. But it's been such a gift truly to watch both of us grow in the ways that we approach our nutrition and approach our fitness. Cause it's like when you met me, I was still so deep in eating disorders and just so many disordered habits in general. I was so afraid of taking rest days. Everything was very like black and white for me. And it was just like this white knuckling, like everything had to be clean, right? Clean eating. And I could only, buy things if they were organic and grass fed and, all these things. And it was so life-changing to be around somebody that just normalized like, yo, I work out really hard and I can also eat things like Whataburger or In-N-Out and like, still do the thing, right? But it's like when you don't have that and you're just so afraid of food and so afraid of, alcohol was something I struggled with for so freaking long because in my brain, I had wired this, this scenario where it'd be like, yo, like if you drink, it's going to make you fat. Like there's just no way that these things can coexist. And, present day, it's like, I now, it's like I maybe have a drink once or twice a year because I just don't like how it makes me feel the next day. I cannot handle the depression, the anxiety. I feel like, especially once I hit 30, it just like, whatever that situation is, my body cannot hang. But, it's like to have somebody that just was, like we were completely opposite in so many things, but it was just so
kind
good to like be around.
Out, right?
Yeah, like osmosis. And then, reversely, it's it's like, it's been cool because over the years, you kind of went from CrossFitter to Olympic weightlifter to now you're super passionate about jujitsu and the BJJ. And in addition to obviously bodybuilding, fast forward for me, it's like I've done a little bit of everything because in college I actually ran marathons. So I was like your 5K, half marathon, go get lost in the trees for 2 hours. And so part of the reason why CrossFit was like so appealing was it was like, yo, I can go to the gym and I'm an extrovert and I get to like do things with people, right? But it was like, so it's why I'm so passionate about lifting and getting people into the gym and finding the barbell and stuff like that is it's like, lifting heavy weight changed my life because it got me to stop micromanaging my body and it got me to stop thinking about just what my body looked like and instead celebrate all the amazing things that my body could do and it became this transaction of and I think about this all the time because it's like people will rag on companies that maybe promote working out for aesthetics kind of like Paragon does it's like ultimately at the end of the day we want to help people look good, feel good and reach whatever goals they have whether that's performance whatever it is. And so there's kind of this connotation in the fitness and wellness industry where it's like people will knock on you when you're like, oh, I just want to look good or I want to chase aesthetics. And it's like, hey, listen, like if that's ultimately what gets you in the door to fitness and then it ends up being the gateway to, oh shit, that's cool. What, this week, I squatted a barbell. Well, next week, can I lift more weight? Next week, can I lift more weight? And so it was so transformative for me because I just stopped caring what I looked like. And I got so obsessed with just wanting to be a better athlete and perform well in the gym. And just like that feeling of feeling so strong, so badass and like almost unstoppable. Like that sounds so lame to say out loud, right?
I agree. It's an amazing feeling. Like, I mean, that's what I gravitated me towards, Olympic weightlifting. Like, I mean, I literally never lifted weights like to that level, like, competitive level. And I was like, I remember the first day at CrossFit gym, I couldn't even squat like body weight. And I mean, that was like 170 pounds or 80 pounds or whatever. Like I couldn't even do that. And then, I
folded like a little shrimp taco.
5 years later, I'm sitting there like squatting like 400 for reps and like snatching like 250 and like all that kind of stuff. And like, I mean, yeah, same thing. I mean, lifting heavy definitely changed my life. Like lifting big weights. Like